We'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth here with Sharif Small. Sharif, how are you?
Hey, busy and blessed about yourself, Donnie. How you doing?
Good. You're celebrating CIAA
Yes, right.
with the rest of Baltimore.
That's right. My hometown.
Have you had a chance to check out any of the games?
No, not yet. I hope I can try to check out some when I leave here.
Okay, we're gonna get go straight for the jugular. And again, special thank you to Bank of America and the many sponsors of this phenomenal business networking event, financial summit. You bought a FedEx route.
Yes, bought a FedEx route business. I bought it from a older gentleman who had it for 20 years, 66 years old, and he was a black guy, so I bought it during Black History Month, which made it even more special. So routes can be listed for sale, and I found it online. I did an inquiry, reached out to the broker. The broker got me in contact with the owner. I think it was me and a couple other people that it's contacted. On the website, it shows the annual revenues are made for that year, the year before, what the expenses are, and what the net is after all the expenses.
So you can do the math.
You can do the math. I'm an accountant, right? So, and then on top of that, it shows the trucks, how many trucks that comes with it, 19. So I bought it's listed for $2.4 million. So I bought it for $2.4 million. 25 trucks, 22 employees, 19 exclusive routes, and Prince George's County. So I have 6 routes that no other FedEx contractor can deliver in those areas but myself.
Did you know anything about FedEx delivery routes?
I did. I have clients that own FedEx route business as well too, so I actually knew about it. So when I'm recording their transactions and I see how much money got left over, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And then my twin brother bought one last year. Yeah, he bought one.
You had some institutional knowledge, some personal knowledge.
Yeah. So
did you ask yourself when this guy, when he was retiring, 67 years old, why are you selling it? I mean, is that the first question that comes to mind?
I did ask why. He said that he's been doing it for 20 years and he's burnt out.
He tired.
He retired. Plus, pick up and delivery, e-commerce. The last couple of years, the value done went up so much. Like he did well during COVID, so it makes no sense but to sell. And then these were his last. He had 2 divisions, and he actually he wound up selling them. So he just wanted to, 100% get out of the business. Now I still have him on as my advisor, so he still works with me.
And you still get paid.
Still get paid. Yeah.
So where does this fit in the business textbook under buying a business from someone? I mean, a lot of times we don't think about that when we go into entrepreneurship.
I think we think entrepreneurship, we always think about starting from scratch.
You don't have to.
And you don't always have to. And one of the good things about buying a business, they got financials that you can use, that you can give to a bank. And then they can run their own due diligence if they feel like it's a viable business to invest into it. And you got to put together a business plan, right? And then in that business plan, you got to have projections for the next 2 to 3 years how the business is going to do. So like I said, bought it for 2.4. He has a contract for 2.5 million. That makes 2.5 annually a year. Once I got on the contract, 2 months later, he signed a new contract for $3 million. So I'm buying the business for 2.4, and it's a $3 million a year business.
So even though he was retiring, he was still actively engaged in growing that business.
And growing that business, yeah. Because pickup delivery continues to keep on growing. It's the e-commerce. It's just the way people are buying things now.
So the big lesson to anybody watching this broadcast, this podcast, is you can buy a business.
You can buy a business, and you can use SBA financing, where they will finance 90% of the cost, and only had to put down 10% plus closing, right? And on top of that, I got working capital with the financing as well. So you want to have a good relationship with a bank, SBA lender, where they can look at the financials, and they got to look at your credit too. So you got to be able to personally guarantee it, and then have a business plan in place, and you got to get approved through FedEx. So you got to have a meeting with FedEx. They're going to talk to you about a lot of things, but the 3 biggest things is safety, service, efficiency. Those are the big 3 things that you want to make sure you stay on top of when you run a FedEx route business.
For someone just getting into business, for someone thinking of launching their very own business for the first time, can you speak to the significance of credit?
Oh yeah, so you got to make number 1, you got to make sure you're over 700. That's the idea.
700 on the credit score.
You got to make sure you're over 700. No, SBA will do 680, I believe it is. But you want to make sure that you're over 700 because, you know, you got 3 agencies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So they're going to look at all 3 and they're going to average all 3 of the scores out. So you want to make sure that all 3 of them are over 700. You may have one over 700, second may be 680, third one could be like 640. So you may be at or below that, you know, that line. So you want to make sure that you're over 700. So you want to make sure you do, and if you're not over 700, you need to talk to a financial advisor, a financial planner, and have a plan in place to get yourself over 700. Stay away from the debt management and credit repair companies because they will not help your credit, they will hurt you. So I'd recommend you seek with a credit counselor, seek with a financial planner that can help you rebuild your credit. Because I've seen too many people spend thousands of dollars to rebuild their credit and it doesn't move the needle at all. So you want to make sure you seek with someone that's going to really help rebuild your credit. So you want to have that and have a financial plan in place that I talked about earlier because I was doing a money moves plan on tonight. Have that financial plan in place. On top of that, you got to have a budget. So you gotta have a budget, stay on top of it, stick to it, live within your means, and you gotta save some money, have some savings, have some emergency reserves. So you gotta build that foundation first. Once you build the foundation, then you can start leveraging that and then start building wealth for the future.
Mr. Small, you make it seem so easy.
It's not, but we just try to break it down and give them the steps the way they can do it. I've been doing it for 20 years, so it's like, you know, kind of second nature.
Where are you from, sir?
Park Heights, Baltimore City, raised by a single father, me and my 2 brothers.
Any thoughts on being a parent and running a business?
Oh yeah, so when you're starting a business, realize you're forming a family-owned business. So you work for yourself, but you shouldn't be working by yourself. And you gotta think of when you start a business, who you starting for. So 20, 30 years down the line, you're gonna leave that legacy to your kids and to your grandkids. So when you're starting this business, you gotta be thinking of them and how you're gonna set them up. I think I mentioned earlier, how the earliest you can hire your kids put them on payroll is age 7. People don't know that. People think that it's age 14.
Let's go there. You can put your children on the payroll at age 7.
Y'all remember that earlier when I talked about
7.
age 7? Because if they're not related to you as 14, which means they need a working permit. But if they're related to you, kids, grandkids, nieces, and nephews, you don't need a working permit.
See, I need to go. My parents are long gone, but I need to go dig them up and ask them for my check.
You need to do it retroactively. You need to come back. But why you want to do that? Instead of paying them allowances, you pay the wages. The wages are tax deductible to your business, right? So when you pay wages, you can't deduct that. But when you pay them allowances, you can deduct that, right? So $12,950, you put them on payroll. It's a little clean on your tax returns. You do not have to hold any federal, no state, no Social Security, Medicare taxes, still claim your tax returns.
All right, so I got to get this in there. A lot of times, we don't have the conversation.
That's why we got to have family meetings, right?
My dad was a film director, and the conversation we don't have is about the succession plan.
Yeah, you got to have succession planning. Life insurance and estate planning is all on top of that. So another thing, and I can finish talking about putting your kids on payroll. So I mentioned before, take that $12,000, put $6,000 to a Roth IRA. Now that
Roth
IRA. So Roth IRA, and what you know what that Roth IRA is an individual retirement account. So what you're doing, you're putting after-tax money that's in there, which means it's already been taxed. But the good thing about this here is that that money's not taxed when you're paying your kid, because they're too young for their kid for tax to be taken out. Plus, you pay them up to the $12,950. As long as it's at or below that amount, the tax will be called, you can still claim all the tax returns. So once you put that in a Roth IRA, now you invest in the mutual fund, stocks, the bonds. Now they learn how money works. Right now they learn about compounding interest, rate of return, diversification, asset allocation. So when they get to age 18, $6,000 a year, and then each year it can go up based on IRS and everything. When you get to age 18, you got money for college, you can pull that money out for college, you can take it out, and then what if you don't go to college? The first $10,000 in a Roth IRA, down payment on the house, or I mentioned before, you can do both. So you can do both where you can't go to college by their sophomore, junior year, they should be getting an internship. So now you're showing W-2 income. So when they looking to live off campus, you can buy an apartment complex, right? So they can live in one unit, they the owner occupier, and then you, the kid, the parents are the non-owner occupier. FHA, 3.5% down, and buy a 4-unit apartment complex, have tenants rent it out, and then put your kid in and live in one, and then you rent out the other 3 units. Now you got cash flow coming in, and it appreciates in value. So now you're turning active income into passive income. Now, if you're going to rent it out to grad students, law students, medical students. Do not make that house a frat house or that apartment complex a frat house. No freshmen, no sophomores, right?
Because that could
That
easily
will
destroy
destroy your investment. So now your kid is learning how money works. So then every 2 years, you can actually buy another 4 unit, refinance that into an LLC. Now it's been taken off your credit report. Now you use FHA again. So you go from owning 10 to 4 or 5. Now you go from residential to where you can use commercial. And you can use SBA to buy a commercial building, SBA 504 loan. As long as you occupy 51%, you're giving out to 49, and you can use SBA only got to put down 10%. That's how I bought my office building on 25th Street, which is Black Wall Street. Right? I used SBA and bought it for $150,000. Refinanced it 2 years later, appraised at $225. I refinanced it, poured the cash, I bought another building on the next block, and I got a tenant upstairs that pays my mortgage. So how do you leverage this to where when COVID comes and things get challenging with providing services to clients, you still got somebody that's able to pay your mortgage, right? So you got to keep your expenses low as much as possible, and then leverage the business, the credit, and the tax gain.
Pretty impressive. How can people learn more from you?
Well, you can go on my website, www.sjsfinancialfirm.com. Also, reach out to me on social media, the Sharif J. Small, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Like, I'm not hard to find. You can just Google my name and reach out to me. And then I'm here around to give you my contact information.
Can you get to that succession plan?
So that succession planning, that involves some insurance license too. So when I bought, every time I buy a business or buy real estate, buy a fabulous business, I get life insurance. And one of the things you can get term, which is great, but also you want to get that index universal life insurance. Are y'all familiar with that? Get that universal life insurance because term is a death benefit, but index universal life insurance is a living benefit. So you can actually put extra savings on top of that. And you get around 3 to 4% return on your investment in life insurance. What people don't know is Chase Bank is one of the biggest people that invest in life insurance. There are banks where they'll take your money and they will lend it out for mortgages and for businesses, but they also use it to buy life insurance and get 3 or 4% return on your money that people don't know about. So when you get that life insurance, put money into it, put more than what the minimum is, 5 to 7, you can actually pull that cash out instead of going to the bank and have to go through the underwrite. You become your own bank because you got cash in there and you can actually have it owned by a trust, right? The key thing you can take out of this, own nothing and control everything. So when LLCs it's not nothing is in your name. The LLC owns your businesses, have the life insurance owned by a trust. You can still control it, but your name is not, and it's not on your credit report. So it's called infinite bank, where you create your own family bank. So another quick thing we can say this, you can take the owner's family member, take out life insurance from that person, $2 million. If they pass, that's millions of dollars coming to your family. That's what people that don't look like us do. And then they want to buy synagogues and some other stuff too, and keep the family into their business. So Rockefeller method is what I call it. People need to look up the Rockefeller method.
Do you have a book out?
Not yet, but it will be coming. But I do have some workshops coming up soon where we're going to touch this more in detail.
Anything you'd like to add before they shut us down? 5
steps to building generational wealth. Number 1, have a dream. Secondly, plan. 3rd, save. 4th, invest. And 5th, give, because the blessing is more than giving than the receiving.
Mr. Small, you are the best. What high school did you attend?
I went to 3 high schools, Western City, and then finished up at Forest Park. Then I went to Little City for a year, CIAA, and I finished up at Towson.
Thank you very much. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover
Black Wall Street Dominique.